Hello and welcome to my kitchen. I am coming to you today with protein sources. As I head into a strength training program for focusing on fitness and gaining muscle, I want to emphasize the importance of protein in order to do that. Now, I also believe that protein can be a little overhyped. While we do need it, and it's a very essential protein form of nutrients, and it's also important for building muscle, we have to remember that all macronutrients are important and necessary for our health and longevity. But when it comes to strength training, protein is essential because it helps rebuild cells. So when you've had surgeries, been sick, are trying to gain muscle, protein is going to be a very important nutrient. So I'm going to go through some of the staples that I keep in my house for protein and what I like to eat. So I'm going to start with everything. I have it all out on the counter. I'm going to show it to you, kind of talk about how we use it and what we have. So canned, always beans, and I even use some canned lentils when I'm in a pinch, if I'm not making my own from scratch. So beans, very important, and then we can have that mixed in, like we do tacos, mixed into that. I also like to put beans into pasta salads or even as a kind of bean salad. So beans are definitely a good source of protein as well. All right, another one is peas. So peas are really high in protein, probably not something that you think of very first. So they're a great source of protein as well. And again, either just on its own, mixed into pasta salads, or even into meat mixtures. If you do taco meat, you can throw in some peas to get a little extra protein as well. Okay, mung beans. These are super, super, super high in protein. I actually use these to make a pesto, to put on pizzas. I also use this edamame and mung bean pasta, which is also very high in protein. The kids actually really love this. They never complain when they eat this, but I like to find pastas that give a little bump of protein as well. So mung bean and mung bean pasta. Speaking of edamame, I don't have any in the house right now, but frozen edamame or mukamame, those are also great. I like to eat that as is, and you can also throw it into dishes as well. Your stir fries, you can throw it into pasta salads, you can throw it into mixed greens. That's another great way to get some added protein. Okay, I also like to have canned salmon and canned tuna. A lot of protein, 25 grams of protein. I mix in some veggies, usually some avocado and some mustard. I really like horseradish mustard or Dijon mustard. Makes a great snack, lunch, meal, whatever you need. And canned salmon. I like to do salmon cakes. I've also done tuna cakes, but generally with salmon, I'll do salmon cakes. Speaking of salmon is something we have almost every week. So I get salmon and cook it, and it yields leftovers, and the kids do eat salmon as well. Okay, protein bars. I like no-cow protein bars. So this is Oreo cookies and cream and chocolate chip cookie dough. They also have a s'mores flavor that I really, really like. But these are my favorite go-to protein bars. And there are 22 grams of protein in here. Usually that's something I'll have after workout or for a snack, travel. If I'm gonna be on the days that I spend traveling, training, I'll take a couple with me and have them for snacks. Again, back to beans and lentils. So we also cook our own sometimes. Okay, pastas. We have green lentil and chickpea pastas. Tolerant is my favorite brand of chickpea and lentil pastas. We also have some red lentil pasta. So throughout the week, my husband preps our pasta. This is something that goes, I'll put this on a bed of mixed greens with some sweet potato. Today I cut up a turkey burger and put that in there. Speaking of turkey, I do like to enjoy some ground turkey. I usually get some every week. This is a Greek burger, so it's got spinach and feta in it. Sometimes I make meatballs, sometimes it's sliders, burger patties, or a taco mix. There is some ground beef in there about once a month. Sometimes I'll do some red meat, but it's an easy add-on, easy to make a lunch. You could do a quick taco salad. Again, the meatballs, even as a snack or as a meal itself. Hummus and chickpeas. I don't have any chickpeas from the can, but hummus and chickpeas. I like to roast chickpeas. You could do roasted chickpeas and an edamame mix. That would be a good protein punch. eggs, which we don't eat a ton of, but if I add it to pancakes or waffles, but I also have eggs for breakfast a couple times a week. Greek yogurt, which you can use with fruit. You can put servings of protein powder into it. We use this predominantly for our overnight oats, which pack a ton of protein. And I would be happy to send you the recipe if you would like it. Just let me know. Speaking of protein powders, we have 3 in the house right now. So Cos is a plant-based protein that I really enjoy. I have another plant-based protein that we have is Legion. And then the whey protein that I use is Naked Whey. And from my research, these are the ones that I particularly like. But of course, do your own research if you wish, or ask a trusted professional what they think. Another kind of supplement type thing I do is collagen. I put a scoop in my coffee. So that's another, it's a small amount of protein, but it is a little bit of protein, and it's something I have almost daily. And then the last thing I want to show you is this textured vegetable protein. So when I do burgers or the meatballs, or if I do the salmon cakes, instead of using breadcrumbs, and sometimes even when I'm making fried tofu, which is another one I like to have on hand and I don't have right now, but sometimes I'll use this to coat like the bread, use this as my breadcrumbs. It's pretty coarse, kind of big if you can see. So if I'm feeling extra, if I have a lot of effort in me, I will kind of grind it up a little bit to make it a little bit more panko consistency. Otherwise, I use it as is, but I can add this to taco meat. I can add it to my meatballs, to my salmon cakes. I use this a lot, and it pumps up the protein content in our meal. And last but not least, one thing I want to share with you that is, some people think of it as a protein, but really I like to encourage people to think of it more as a fat. And remember, fats are not bad for us. We want to make sure we're having the right amount, but it's peanut butter. I am a peanut butter lover. I have peanut butter every single day. Sometimes it comes in my overnight oats. Sometimes it's a peanut butter popsicle, which is a spoonful of peanut butter, but it really is more of a fat. So there's 16 grams of fat per serving, and with fat, you have 9 calories per gram. So the calorie count really comes from the amount of fat in here. So I encourage people to think of protein more as a fat than a protein source. That's just kind of a little extra information, a fun fact for you as you fill up your fridge and your pantries with your proteins. If you have any questions about other protein sources, how to get them in throughout the day, please feel free to reach out to me. I love discussing these types of things with people because I want you to have an abundant life of health. Thanks for tuning in.